please welcome to the stage Jewish California CEO David Bocarsly.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everyone feeling after last night? I like that. Take a breath, everyone. Take a breath and look around. Take this all in. We are sitting in the largest hotel ballroom in Sacramento with nearly 700 Jewish leaders and allies from across California, joined over 2 days by 75 lawmakers and experts throughout our program. And we're about to spend the day lobbying every office in the state capitol on behalf of our community. It really is extraordinary. I want to start this morning by marking something. I mentioned this last night as well, but this is our first Capitol Summit as Jewish California. Thank you. The name change is more than rebranding, it's a declaration. It clarifies the nature of our work. It reflects the growth, the maturity, and the true unity of this movement. And honestly, it mirrors what I've watched happen to this organization over the last 4 years. When I was hired just over 4 years ago, I was the first full-time employee at this 50-year-old organization. We had 25 member organizations, some modest wins under our belt, and a belief that something bigger was possible. Today, Jewish California has grown into this movement. We are a broad and diverse coalition that includes 43 organizations working on fighting for our community's core needs, and yes, as Rabbi Kanevsky just said, for the dignity of all Californians. We are now the nation's largest statewide coalition of Jewish organizations, and we're still growing. In the last 4 years, we have secured nearly $450 million from the state budget for nonprofit security grants, Holocaust survivors, refugees and asylum seekers, food pantries, and housing for adults with disabilities. And we've helped pass 57 bills into law. None of that happens without what is in this room right now. The collective strength we build here carries us through our advocacy efforts throughout the year. That is the principle I want to dwell on this morning. When our community needs something statewide, when a state issue arises, when we need to make our voices heard in the halls of the Capitol, we have this deep and unified coalition. You can come to us. When fringe voices try to drown us out, or when far left or far right actors try to tokenize the Jewish voice, Jewish California is here, standing unified, speaking with one voice. AB 715 taught us that. Last year's effort was one of the most remarkable demonstrations of communal unity I have ever witnessed. We took on some of the state's most powerful special interest groups, and we won. We brought together 72 Jewish organizations in what became the largest Jewish coalition to ever support a California bill. We activated over 25,000 people across the state. And in the end, we secured 106 out of 120 votes in the legislature. We have since defended a lawsuit with Doug Emhoff and Wilkie standing with us. And of course, we defeated AB 2159, an effort designed to undo the core protections we just secured. Because of these efforts, the most consequential bill in Jewish California history and the most robust school anti-Semitism bill in the nation is now law of the land. We're building a reputation that we can take on the biggest fights to defend our civil rights and that we can win. The attacks will keep coming. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. As we grow, so too does the will of our detractors. But here's what has changed. We are both responding in kind, and we are building an education and engagement infrastructure that will drive long-term change across all sectors of public life, bettering our community and all vulnerable groups. And that brings us to the other half of our work. So many of the government resources that provide a lifeline for struggling families are under serious threat. The cuts in H.R. 1 are not abstract. They will be felt by real people, many of whom are served directly by organizations in this room. The safety net that so many of our members have built their missions around is at risk. As the anti-Semitism challenges continue to rise and the safety net threats continue to rise, we can't slow down, and we're not slowing down. After a focused effort on AB 715 last year, we're leading efforts on 6 major bills this year and 4 major budget requests to protect our institutions and our time off for religious holidays, to expand our state's narrow definition of Jewish identity, and to support Holocaust survivors and refugees. We're also supporting another 26 bills and budget requests that others are leading on. It's an incredible and incredibly ambitious policy agenda, and today we'll focus on a subset of these priorities that need the biggest push. What you'll notice about our 2026 legislative agenda and the work that we're doing today is that it centers on these two core pillars that define Jewish California. The first is core Jewish issues, countering anti-Semitism and hate, strengthening community security, supporting the California-Israel relationship, and expanding the representation of our Jewish identities. And the second is what we call core Jewish values. That's fighting hunger and poverty, expanding access to healthcare and mental health services, working on climate solutions, and standing up for immigrants, faith communities, LGBTQ Californians, and all who are most at risk. It's a diverse set of initiatives, but the organizations in this room are diverse. Some of you may be here primarily for one pillar, some for the other, and that's how it should be. But what makes us powerful, what has delivered us every single one of our wins, is that when we are in Sacramento, we all uplift both. We bring a uniquely diverse coalition into these halls, and we speak with one unified voice. And lawmakers see that, and they react in kind. It's what delivered AB 715. It's what delivered $450 million, and it's what will deliver our wins today. So, what we are doing this week, this summit, just want to kind of preface it for you of how we're structuring it all. It's like a funnel. Yesterday, networking, learning, skill building, big picture thinking. We heard from Doug Emhoff and other incredible experts and practitioners. We celebrated progress, we built relationships, and we started to understand Sacramento. This morning, we focus on our specific policy goals. We'll hear from two extraordinary voices in our two pillars. First, Reuben Rotman will speak about the threat to the social safety net and how our community is responding. Then Rabbi Joel Nickerson, himself the target of hateful protest, will share his experience and what it means for the bills we're carrying. Sandwiched between them, our incredible Lieutenant Governor, Eleni Kounalakis, who has spent her career uplifting both of our pillars. After that, our panels will focus more specifically on our policy areas. And then we'll come back together, train you on our bills, practice with your lobbying groups, and head to the Capitol. This is the funnel. Everything leads us to these lobby meetings. And those meetings, your presence in those offices, your willingness to show up in the middle of the week, your voice and your story are what make all the difference. You do not need to be a policy expert. The two most powerful things you can do today are, one, show up, and by doing so, demonstrate the strength and unity of our community. And two, share why you care about any one of these issues. That's it. That's how we move the needle. And it has a lasting impact. When Cliff or Miller or I go back to lawmakers after today, they'll remember the 700 advocates who came, and they'll know our community is behind us. It deeply matters. It deeply matters that you're here. I also want to encourage you all to stay involved after this week. This Sunday, we're hosting a major debate on Zoom where you can learn about who to vote for as our next superintendent of public instruction, a position responsible for overseeing the largest state department of education in America, for implementing AB 715, for combating hate, and for working towards the best outcome for California's 6 million public school students. Please register and join us online on Sunday, and we'll have information around about that. Thank you. We're also building out a key contact program, helping people join statewide boards and commissions and sending out calls to action as our bills move forward. There are many ways to stay engaged year-round, and as we grow, so too do those opportunities. This doesn't have to end today. I want to close with something personal. My son, Jesse, just hit 10 months yesterday. Thanks. He's a sweet kid with an infectious smile and a zest for life. And in recent years, things have felt increasingly hard for our community and for so many others around us. And I've had a lot of complicated feelings about starting a family in this climate. But I will say this, getting to be in the trenches every day, seeing how many people are committed to building a better world, seeing all of you, that's what gives me hope for our future. So I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for staying involved, and let's get to work. Thanks, everybody.